I don't think I need to remind viewers how much I love live theater. Grew up doing it and immersed myself in it, and I absolutely love seeing live theater, and to see it back again in person is so exciting. The Great Canadian Theatre Company, a wonderful space to see a fabulous production, and the production running right now until March the 12th. It's called The Unplugging, and I'm joined by one of its actors, Miali Buscemi. Welcome, Miali. Great to have you here.
Not me. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk. I want to talk a little bit about your background. First of all, you were telling me you just arrived in Ottawa in 2018, but what's your theater background? How did you fall in love with theater?
I actually, theater fell on my lap.
Okay.
I never, so I'm from Nunavut, so we don't have theaters up in Nunavut.
Right.
So I was never an aspiring theater actor.
Okay.
But in 2017, because I was doing film and TV acting prior to 2017, I was approached to see if I wanted to do a show at the Stratford Festival called The Breathing Hole. And that's what initially introduced me to theater. And after that, I wanted to do a bit more to see, okay, do I want to continue with film and TV, or do I want to branch out into theater? And because one season doesn't give me enough of an idea, like, do I love theater? Right,
of course.
So I came in 2018 to do more theater, and COVID happened.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to do more theater until now.
Well, thank goodness. Finally, we've gone through what I would say the worst of it. Let's talk about this production, though, The Unplugging. Tell me the storyline behind it.
Yeah, so The Unplugging is two women who have been exiled from their community, and they are off to survive in a post-apocalyptic world.
Can you share why they've been sort of exiled, or is it giving up too much of the
You'll
story?
have to come see the show
in order well, I figured that's where you might be going. But okay, you play a character called Byrne. Tell me a little about your character and some of the personality characteristics of Byrne.
Yeah, so Byrne is a bit of a fiery, free spirit person, and she's also been through a lot. Same with her friend that she is on a journey with. But she's very resilient. They're both very resilient. But Byrne also has found unique ways to survive as well. So she's
physical unique ways, or sort of emotional, a combination of both?
A combination of both,
okay.
I would say. Yeah. Because she's a lot less skilled than her friend.
I see.
But I mean, when you're facing survival, you find ways to survive.
What sort of themes do we see in this production, and do they relate to sort of current events that we see today?
I think so.
Yeah.
And the two that we have discussed amongst our group have been relationships and community.
Right.
Because with relationships, that's, when you're facing hardship, sometimes, relationships can become, difficult to go through.
Yeah.
But they're also really important because, relationships, when you kind of broaden that's community, and community is so very important. I also am a big community, I grew up in a small community, so
right.
Community is a big deal to me. And this, in particular, really shows how important community is.
Well, and I think when you go through, incredible challenges, the pandemic's a great example. It can either divide us, or it can bring us together. And it sounds like you've got both of those themes. Is that fair to say in this production?
I would say that is fair to say. Yeah, because throughout the pandemic, you kind of learned the things that are important to humanity.
Yeah.
And reconnecting, and even reclaiming for some communities, for some individuals. So that, yeah.
Well, speaking of community as well, Miali, is the theater community, right? You've come to Ottawa, and then the pandemic hit, but now you're immersed in the theater community. It's a tight community, and when you get together for a production, the friendships come quite fast and quite close. What has rehearsals been like? How the cast and the crew? Tell me a little bit about sort of those relationships. What has that been like?
It has actually been very interesting. I've really appreciated our rehearsal process in particular, because we spent so the play does touch on really difficult subjects,
right?
And sometimes coming from the issues that sometimes Indigenous people face. So with all of that involved, the rehearsal process, we've spent some time building trust with each other.
Right.
So before and after rehearsal, depending on what we were working on that day, we spend time talking to prepare for the scenes, and then we have a debrief post rehearsal, and that to me has been very profound. And I think it was also really important for this play in particular because of some of the subject matter.
Yeah, and it probably shows up in the production, right? All of these things that you're discussing when you have that Q&A and you have those bonding moments. Miali, really appreciate you joining us. I should tell everybody at home, by the way, it kicked off last night, was opening night, an amazing response again, running until March the 12th at the Great Canadian Theatre Company, GCTC.ca to get your tickets. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't